Okay. It's time to launch. Nice. I forget to covers this. This mission should be fully automatic. So I'm using ephemeras for to boost the recovery. Let's check if our floating system is working. Alright. So I'm writing my own script for this launch to be fully automated. If you see that this landing pad, that's not just for the show, for the show. That's also actually working because we are going to use this booster. This booster will land on this pad, not just for show. Everything is working. So the booster will separate and doing this job. Touch them correctly on target this landing pad. In the future, maybe I'll put some cam in this booster, like what I did to some of my booster in the past when they landed automatically using my written script in KOS. Also, if you check my channel, I have also made a super heavy catch using script. The launch also very efficient because I calibrate every craft script with their personal settings. So yeah, the launch and landing should be efficient. Maybe it's about time before we go. be quite cinematic. So if you are asking why the craft launching upside down, because it's the aerodynamic issue. Like the real shuttle is launched upside down first, because the tail will be more stable if it's pointing down. It's about time before Miko and the booster will separate. Like now, yeah, it's separate. Second stage activation. So the FMRS going to save. That's a bit that stuttered because the FMRS doing the autosave. As you can see, the booster doing his job. Very cinematic boost backburn, and then yeah, all engines start up. Yeah, the booster going back to the launch sites. The landing pads. Sorry. Every time I look at it, oh my god! Even I wrote the script myself. I read the script by myself. I'm still amazed by how it looks when the booster doing it boost backburn. So yeah, it's about time before the upper stage reaching its orbit at 100 kilometers. After that, the second stage will do rendezvous with the interplanetary space station, because this is just a tanker plane. Sorry, a tanker rocket. It's just sending its fuel for future mission, because it's about less than 2 months before we have the less than a month before do not transfer windows. So yeah, I'm building the infrastructure for that, because who want a trash in their orbit, right? So that's why I'm designing and building this reusable rockets. This is not the only one. I have another space plane, as you can call it. The space planes also look very good. It's very thin. It's much thinner than this, but it can carry about around 10 kerbals to orbit before it docked to the interplanetary station. So the interplanetary station have another craft for interplanetary transport, but I haven't yet building my own station in Duda. I'm just starting my mission to plant flag on Duda. In the future, I'm planning on building a space station in Duda, so it will be very efficient. The interplanetary vehicle only transfer between Duna to Kerbin orbit, and so forth. Refueling using these tankers. So yeah, we will never waste some space jump. We will not building a space jump in the future, because everything is reusable. Later, in the future, Duna will also have its own space plane to launch directly from Duna soil to the Duna orbit, and its own ESRU to refuel the vehicle on the ground, but also in orbit for the interplanetary transfer vehicle. So yeah, first thing first, I'm just sending this tanker to the space station. As you can see, I street stress station, the new carbon, which is on the eccentric orbit, quite 45 degree, around 45 degree, and another one on equatorial orbit, and this is the one that will be used for interplanetary space station. I have another one on low carbon orbit, which is has many spacecraft docked here. It's for transferring between carbon and the moons. The moon, or maybe Minmus. Yeah, there is a small craft for transferring from low carbon orbit to Minmus, the moon, and back. So the new carbon station is specialized for interplanetary, and this one is specialized for the moon around carbon. Yeah, and we reach orbit already. So it's time to recover the booster. I think I'm going to send around 2 tanker. Two tanker is enough. Too much maybe. Too much delta V for a small craft transferring from carbon. Yeah, it's time for the show. So the booster is doing its job to correcting its attitude, pointing to the targeted landing coordinate. Yeah, the spectrum start up. It works beautifully. Still can't believe what I made. The script I made is so good. Also, this is not. This part is not. I'm not using any mods for the parts. Everything is stocks. And this landing legs is not a landing leg. Actually, it's a robotic part with hinge here. I'm attaching some wing strike here. Yeah. Oh, it's quite a bit laggy, sorry. Because of the time war. Also, my computer laptop is not. It's quite. Not a good laptop. I have not a good spec. I don't have a good spec to play in KSP. That's why I'm still not using the true volumetric cloud by BlackRock. I hope sometimes in the future I have the money to buy some better laptops to play KSP on its glorious graphics. So it's waiting for the craft to falling. When it's fall, it start pointing to surface retrograde. It's laggy because the script calculating so many physics, the speed, the craft thrust, the engine thrust, the craft's mass, etc. So it will do some very accurate hover sound. It's quite funny because I'm designing this craft using fin. Sorry for the disconnect. So yeah, let's continue. Craft will fall. Maybe today I'm going to do 2 missions, sending the craft to the orbit and then docking it. Because as you can see, one mission took quite a while. I can do time warp, but yeah, it's become laggy. Too much calculation on the script here. Yeah, the booster starts correcting. No, it haven't. It will start correcting at around 20 kilometers altitude when the atmosphere is thick enough for it to use its own fin, correcting its trajectory. Like what SpaceX and Blue Origin did. They used the fin to do the controlled descent. What I like about New Glenn, it has small wing stack here that make it to glide like a plane, which it can correct its trajectory far more than Falcon 9. Also, I have another craft which is smaller than this that can do the same thing because I'm using the wing stack as leg, as landing leg, that the wing stack itself is creating lift. So for the smaller craft, it will create lifts so it can glide further to the landing pad. For this craft, because it is quite heavy, using 6-vector engine, and because it needs so much thrust and fuel to send this tanker, it will make this booster only can glide a few kilometers than the smaller ones, but it still can do the course correction. Yeah, let's wait and see. It is falling down. The craft can also detect for re-entry burn. If the fuel is too much and the craft is too heavy, it will execute the re-entry burn. So it will slowing down much more easily when it's already close to the ground. But this craft already calibrated, so yeah, the booster have enough fuel to land, but also sending the tanker with enough with more efficient. So the upper stage, this tanker ship, only use its quite small, quite a bit fuel to reach orbit, rather than using much more fuel, because the booster do more horizontal boost to the craft. So also I'm using KSP Enhance. The lens side is quite different because it's from the mode KSP Enhance. It has 3 landing pads, which is nice for landing a booster. Quite nice. Yeah, it will start correcting its trajectory about now. I think I haven't loaded before. I haven't calibrated it. Okay. I do have some change. It should start correcting when it's around 20 kilometers, not 16 or 17. But it's okay. I think my script haven't loaded yet. The newest one. I think I forgot to replace the newest one. But yeah, it's okay. So it starts close. Start gliding to the landing pad. As you can see, it looks very good. Cinematic. Maybe am just going to hide the UI. Yep. Let's see from far away. Is it doing its job? A suicide bird? Yeah. Like. Oh, I forgot to change the landing pad. Yeah, I think the newer script still haven't replaced it, so in the next flight I'm going to land on the closer one. As you can see, the craft doing its job. Very nice. Soft touchdown. Very soft. It's single engine. Yeah. Alright. Nice. Okay, after we land the booster, so jumping back to my mission. And then we are going to send another tanker. Today I'm just going to send 2 tankers because it's already too much. The fuel is a lot. It's enough for you to travel to Zuna and going back to Kerbin. Okay, let's close this fMRS. I think I'm going to change my script a little bit. Wait. Correction points. Okay. Oh, I'm changing the wrong script. Sorry. So next we're going to landing on landing pad 3, which is the one that close to the source. Source. So yeah. Alright, I think everything is already set. It's time to just launch another craft. just a reminder, it's everything is stock parts, no mods, only KOS computer. Yeah, computer. It's for running the script. Everything else is stock. I'm using the restock tool for the visual only. Space tanker, surface LKO. The script already. So if you look at this barrels, there is a computer here which runs my script Space Tanker Booster. Also for the upper stage, it's around here. It has its own computer. Where is it? I forgot where I'm putting that computer. It's alright, good. Alright. I just forgot where I put the computer is because it's too small. Usually I put it around the prop core here. I forget it. Just forget about it. I'm just going to launch the craft now. Yeah, let's launch it. Oh, I forgot. If you think I only have small, I have quite a lot of carbon. They are already on mission. Why I'm still saving the 4 original carbons? Because I'm going to send them to dinner. I want Jeb to be the first astronauts to set foot on Juna. That's why I'm still reserving him. So let's just launch the craft. Oh, it's already 30 minutes already. I think I'm going to end the stream after this because I have to work tomorrow. It's already night here. Yeah. Let's launch. As you can see, there is still a booster there. Here we go. So this booster will land here. The first one should land here first, but I forgot to change the coordinate to be on this landing. No, I don't forget. I already changed it, but I forgot to replace the script in my folder. So it's still loading the old script, which is setting this landing pad for target. To show you the space bus, which the one that has the purpose to send Kerbal from the ground to orbit for interplanetary mission. feels much. Yeah, it's special. It's just special with the booster. I don't know why they don't do this in real life. Why did they use the fuel tank separately? And they are using the solid booster. But why they don't place the booster below this settle? I don't know. Maybe. At least in KSP is quite stable, much more stable than the Dynawing, the stock KSP replica of Special. Yeah, next time I'm going to put some camera here because like Starship, it has very nice view. I think Special looks much better when you looking at it upside down rather than on this side. It looks cool though. I love shuttle. Yeah, that's the FMRS saving. Look at that. The booster is going home. Yeah, boost back bird start. Oh my god. The booster is going home. The booster is going home. Yeah, let's continue this kind of tour. That's why during this time I'm adding more engine here using Fernil for better control to dock on the space station for looking for us. Everything is fully automated, not using MacChip, but using your own script. It's funny though, someone says that MacChip is only for noobs. But yeah, everyone starts from being noob. Like even I'm starting playing PSP and fully automated my booster using MacChip until I know how to write a script in KOS and landing the booster very accurately. MacChip is a very good mod for beginner to learn. Also, if you are bored by repetitive launch, you can use MacChip. Like when you are driving a car in the highway, you're using autopilot, right? So the upper stage using 2 Wolfhood engine, which is quite efficient. usually it's just me or maybe everyone else. I don't like if the upper stage have too much thrust, so I only aiming to have around 0.7, 0.8 or 0.9 thrust to weight ratio. Too much thrust, too much overshooting, and more inefficiency. I think that's why the nuclear engine have such low thrust. Having such low thrust to compensate its efficiency, its ISP. Yeah, I think two Wolfen engine is enough if you're not going to land belly flop like Starship because it's going to land like special because it is special. It's just going to land on the runway. Just chilling here, watching my rockets going to orbit, and my booster back home. I also have landed a booster on drone ship before, but if you can landing on it on the side, why not? Because the closer you recover the craft in KSP and everyone and maybe in real life, if you can land the craft closer to the launch sites, it becomes much cheaper to recover it, right? To transport it back to the VHB, to your VAB or refurbishment building. That's why if you have enough delta V, why you land on the drone ship, right? Just land on the launch site. It's going boost backward startup. If I launched this on early morning or maybe afternoon or maybe it looks very beautiful because I'm using Spectra. It has a very vibrant sunset. Watching the booster landing during sunset, it's very nice. Save this. For my super heavy, before this, I already wrote some script for super heavy, but that's still quite raw. A bug here and there. I think I'm quite happy with the current state of my script right now. It has it I don't know, I haven't seen any bug in my current script right now. It's done perfectly. You just need to calibrate for every craft, the stop burn or the targeted before you start gliding. The less weight the booster you have, you can glide more, so you can have more efficiency by boost backing, not directly to the launch the landing pad, further from landing pad, and then final doing the correction after that. Yeah, it just needs some configuration to match the craft, but everything else is worked very nice, very precise. Like this one, I'm using 6 vector, but there is some quite 3 engine separate from the 4 engine, 4 outer engine, because it will land doing the suicide burn with all engine and then switching off the 4 engine to 3 engine mode, and then for the final correction it will switch to single engine. It's much more effective doing it that way, because if you are landing full engine, when the craft being too light, when the fuel already drained, it will have too much thrust, and it will bounce back the booster and throwing it off air. And never ask me why I know, I guess it already happened before. Even if the script, the calculation for the suicide burn is very precise, if your thrust is too high, the throttle will be too low until it can adjust its throttle much lower anymore, and then it will bounce back. That's what happens. That's why Falcon 9 have 2 engine modes. Also Starship has 3 engine modes, which is switching to 3 and single engine for the final touch. That's how physics works. Also, it is quite very sad here in Indonesia, because there are not a lot of people knowing KSP. And I cannot talk about KSP to just anyone here. They don't understand it. It's make me quite sad, because that's why I'm doing this live stream, just talking here by myself about KSP. I wish Indonesia will have its own space agency in the future. So if you are wondering how much funds you recover by recovering this booster, it's quite a lot. If your booster around 50,000 pounds, for 40,000 funds, you can recover around 32,000. 30,000. Yeah, usually it's around 10,000 funds margin, because of the fuel on it. It will only cost you the fuel. The booster will almost 98% of its value recover to your funds. That's why I'm doing this in carrier mode, not in sandbox. because it makes much more sense to do reusable missions if you are doing it in career mode. Oh my god, it took so long. I wonder. Yeah, I have watched someone playing KSP without time warp, going to the moon without time warp, spending him around a few days. It's crazy. So much effort. Okay. Waiting until 20 kilometers. 20,000 kilometers. So I'm using trajectory mode to calculate its, yeah, if you can see here when it reaches the 2000 kilometers it will start correcting its trajectory right now. Maybe it will be quite unstable a bit because I think the launch are quite not strike enough to the east. That's why when it's land it will yawing, doing its yaw left and right. But it's alright. It's normal. Not like last one, but it's still very effective. Maybe I need to calibrate it in the future when it's yawing like this. It will not bunching left and right. The control is not quite stable, but yeah. If the launch is straight enough to the east, it will not do this. But until it's closer to the target, it will start being stable like this. So yeah, that's it. Let's start doing cinematic burn. Suicide burn start. Okay. Oh, it's stuttering because it's loading the booster on the landing pad 1. Watching the booster landing like this still makes goosebumps, like watching Starship catch for the first time. Not too slow, just leg PC laptop. Alright. The center, isn't it? Not like that one, but still on the targeted location. I can do it more precisely, but it will hovering a bit in the air, which is quite inefficient. As long as it's in center of this yellow circle. I think it's good enough. I can do precisely like Starship, like the super heavy booster gauge. It's just inefficient for this one. That's why, as long as landed in the targeted location, it's fine. Alright, let's jump back to the main mission, and then we'll cover the booster, and we can see how much fun we save for the booster. For sending around how many tons the ship is? I think it's quite heavy. It only costs you around 20 tons, I think, for so much fuel you send to the orbit. It has quite a lot of fuel here, you know. 3,000 3,869 oxidizer and 3,165 liquid fuel. A lot. It's a lot in orbit. If you have smaller craft than this is because the craft is heavy and big. That's why the delta V is only around 3,000. But if you have smaller craft, it will be a lot. You know, if you only have single engine, Wolfhound engine with smaller craft, it will be around 5,000 maybe. If you dock it to the space station, you can refuel it around 3 times, you know. Yeah, so 2 craft to this tanker is enough to send everything to Duna. Okay, let's going back to the space center and then see how much fun we save. Let's recover the booster here. See parts. Look, it saves you around 171,000 funds. A lot of fun because Vector engine is expensive now. You can just throwing it away after every launch. So if you look at the VAB and load the craft, you change the to here, and then you remove this upper stage. Look, you just save around 170,000 funds. You only spend around 3,000 fund to send this tanker, heavy, very heavy tanker, to orbit. Let's load it again. How much heavy it's. Vessel? Oh, it's almost 100 tons, 9,000 kilograms, with full reusability. Also, when this craft going back from orbit, I can just drain all the fuel. Yeah, you will recover around 6,000. It only costs you the fuel when you recover it on the run. So yeah, quite a lot of money saved by using reusable craft. it's already an hour. Okay, maybe that's my mumbling. Thank you for hearing my mumbling, and maybe I'm doing the stream next time again with another craft with fully reusability, like the space bus here. Let's open it first. This, yeah, looks sick, isn't it? It has 4 hinges to replicate starship flap, so it doing its flapping seesaw like starship did during re-entry, and then switching to elephant to guide to the runway. Yeah, the booster also going back to the landing pad, and this spaceship returning to run. Everything is reusable. It looks sick, bro. When you watching it launch, especially during sunset, this thing is beautiful. I think this is the best design I've ever made in KSP. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you for listening to my mumbling. See you